So come on, Ricky, what's it like when you look in the mirror now and you've got all those lines on your face again and that jawline's really tight?
And the cheekbone.
And the cheekbone, and you pull your shirt up and there's nothing there.
Yeah, I keep thinking I think it's a mirror, then I find out it's a picture. No, I feel great. I feel better in my appearance. I think I feel better in just people just say just the way I mean. You know what I mean? If you look better, you feel better, you speak better, you perform better. Just everything's better, isn't it? You know, when you feel good inside. And I think even though it's been a busy time for me, I'm in my training camp. I think me fighters are getting an even better trainer because I'm thinking quicker, I'm thinking faster. I feel healthier in myself. You know, I look forward to picking the kids up from school and dropping them off, and just everything.
But every person you come across.
Everything's less hard work, and it's nice. I don't have an ego. Well, I suppose we all have a slight little ego, but it's nice when people turn around and say, "Ricky, you look so well. He's took years off you." You know. To be honest, that's why I'm doing the exhibition. You know, it gives people a little bit of inspiration of because where I was and where I am, and it's a good thing.
Even when you were bigger, we always saw you on the pads, you liked to work out, you'd have a jog, you'd put a joke out. Where are you, how long ago is it that you properly started getting into camp, and how much weight have you lost? What were you then and what are you now?
I was 14.6 and I'm 12 stone 2 now. I lost that in 7 weeks. I've lost that in 7 weeks, which is incredible. I don't think I did that when I was fighting, but I was always very good at losing the weight. One thing that was always my fuel, would tell me to do it when you just get random people, don't mean anything by it. You know, I'm doing an exhibition, in July. Absolutely no chance. You what? You're never out of the pub. Look at the size here. You're never going to do that. You tell Ricky Hatton I can't do something, and I tell you what, and I did it with all the press years ago when I come out in my fat suit. Said Ricky Hatton after the Mayweather fight, he'll never come back again, and I come out in the fat suit. And I think that's my attitude, and I think that's part of being a champion, wanting to prove things wrong. And I mean, it's that I'm not just doing it for my own well-being, of getting in there with Marco, going in the training camp, losing weight, getting healthy, getting a game plan together, putting my training camp in place over a number of weeks like I always used to do, being able to hear that there's only one Ricky Hatton again, which I never thought I'd ever do, in the manner in which I'm doing it, in losing my weight and how I'm acting and how I'm behaving and how I'm looking and that. I think from the mental health side of things, which everyone knows, it's been well documented what I've had. I like to think it's an inspiration. I mean, I haven't even done the fight yet. I haven't even got in there yet. But I like to think people can sit back and say, you know what, do you remember him a few years ago? Wasn't he in a right state? The size of him, depressed, wanting to kill himself, drinking, drugs, the whole lot. And look what he's done to himself. And if one person turns around and we save a life, if one person goes, look at Ricky Hatton now, what he's done. And you're still going to get the people say, what is he doing the exhibition for? I think it's pretty obvious. As fighters, we're champions. We retire, but we don't die. We still miss that training camp. We still miss that camaraderie in the gym with your gym mates. We still miss that sitting down and working your game plan out and looking at your opponent's tapes and stuff like that. And me and Marco have been able to get that, So why are we doing it? I think it's pretty obvious. And if we raise awareness, raise some money for charity along the way, which is exactly what we're going to do, I can't see how it's not going to be a success. And none of my fights have not been a success. So,
tell me about the process over the last 2 months, if you like. Was it hard at the very beginning? Obviously, you're running, you're training, you've started sparring. Did you change your diet, or did that come about during it?
Changed my diet, tweaked it a little bit. Kerry Kay's back in the day was the best, and he told me about making weight and doing, and how to eat the right things at the right times, and and stuff like that. And I've done it, but I've tweaked it a little bit here and there. Do you know what I mean? The food that you can have these days, is it's a lot less bland and plain as it used to be. It used to be boring as hell. Where even that side of nutrition has come on a little bit. Where you used to finish your training camp and you was eating the right things, like broccoli and a chicken breast and a little bit of sweet corn and stuff like that, but it was boring. Where the meals have come on advanced a little bit now. It's still the same calories and basically the same thing from an energy point of view, but it's a little bit more nicer now.
Do you do it?
Yeah, I do it.
You prepare the food for yourself?
Yeah, well, I have a company which prepare the food for myself, which I make it, and along with a few protein drinks, protein shakes, and my vitamins, and if I have a little bit of fruit in between. Where when I'm sat at home on my own, it used to be crisp and biscuits. Now it's a little bit of a banana with a little bit of protein, and I was always really good at losing the weight, and it's not getting the weight off. I thought at 43, I would be able to get it off as quick. I've done it as well because I think my willpower is still the same. I always had great willpower, but the way I feel now, I'm not going out every night of the week. I'm not in the pub every night of the week. I don't want to go out every night of the week. I still have my nights out, but they're all few and far between now. So there's no reason why this Ricky Hatton should not be here to stay. I said it all through my career, for forever and a day. I'll keep this weight off now, and I never did. But there's a difference between being 30 and 43. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not in the pub every night now. I still have a pint, but I'm not in the pub every night now. I'm training these lads every day, which I love. I've got kids and grandkids now that I pick up and monitor and check about. And you can't do these things sat in the pub because I've got other things I need to do now. So I think this is, this Ricky is there to stay. I'm never, because I like to go for meals, I like takeaways, I like to have a pie. I'm never going to be one of them. But I think I'm enjoying the fact that everyone who comes up to me now and says, "Hey Ricky, you're looking well."
You've got a different energy about you. We saw each other a little bit in lockdown. We did some work together. You've gotten different. I know you've got a fight coming up, so you have to take it seriously. But there's a different energy coming off you. Yeah. There's a strut about you again. That strut.
It's like, Ken Dodd said, happiness, isn't it? Being happy.
So it is a deeper happiness inside.
Yeah. If you look at when I made my comeback,
against Senchenko, and that was 9 years ago now, is it?
10 years ago.
10, yeah.
I'd fought all my demons, and I was in a nice place. Don't get me wrong at that, but there was a few things still not missing. I hadn't made up with Billy Graham then. I hadn't made up with my mum and dad, and I think with the Senchenko fight, I was looking down at ringside when the fight started going a little bit floating in his direction. I looked down at ringside, and my mum and dad weren't there, and because I hadn't made up with them, but made up with my mum and dad, made up with Billy Graham. I've got lovely little Lila now, my granddaughter, Millie and Fern turning into two beautiful girls. Campbell's gone professional, making me proud, It made me proud before he went professional, but Jack's having a little
Your nephew is over there, yeah, he's over there, yeah.
Having a go now,
Your brother's son.
Yeah, and look at all this. If I'd have took my life, and I did, Gareth, I did want to take my life, I didn't want to live anymore. If I'd have took my life, look what I'd have missed out on. So once you've looked that dead in the face and in the eye, and I've come out the other end, I'm a little bit older now, and I've got all these nice things at me, and I don't feel the need to go to the pub anymore. You still see me in the pub having a pint on a night out, of course you will. But I'm enjoying the fact that when I walk down the street, and I'd like it to be till the day I die now. You're looking well, Rick, instead of, "Hey Rick, you're right, put that fat bastard." That's what it was like.
So what you're saying is that you're proud again. You're proud of yourself.
I am proud of myself because, it was all about, the comeback fight was all about redeeming myself and getting rid of them demons and, making everyone proud of me again. And I think I've done that. I did that with my comeback fight. I think everyone said, God, everyone's had problems. Ricky's no different to anyone. And look how he's come back. Now, I've never looked back since my comeback fight. Even though I'm doing this exhibition, I've never looked back since my comeback fight. But I'm doing this exhibition. And the reason for doing this exhibition is for mental health. I lost family through mental health, suicide in lockdown. I lost family, I lost friends through the COVID and everything like that. So I'm doing this when people say, "Why are you doing this?" I'm doing it for another reason. I did it because I needed to get my respect back. I thought I lost my respect because of how I fell from grace. I've got that back. I've got my respect back now, and I've got that. But now I'm doing it to help others, and not only my own well-being. But it's been a horrid time. We never thought we'd be 3 years ago, where we were 3 years ago, Gareth. I tell you what, we never thought we'd see that. We were losing loved ones, mental health through COVID. Look at it now. Life's come back to life again. People can go on holidays. People can go and watch football matches. What a great football season. it's been, people can go and watch fucking Ricky Hatton again. You know, it's a tough time. I see this one as helping mental health and a celebration. We're coming out of such a terrible time.
When you were on the specifics of getting down to this shape and this weight, was it coming off 6 pounds a week? I mean, do you step on the scales every couple of days, or was it coming off gradually?
No,
or?
I'd jump on once a month.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah,
we
once
didn't
every
see
week.
you in camp. You suddenly put that picture out, and everyone went, "Oh my God!"
No, I sort of like I could tell by my clothes. I could tell by my clothes a lot of the time, and on my face, and you know, and when I look down and everything like that. And you know, I don't have to make the 10 stone weight division. You know, it's a few pounds heavier than that. So
160 pounds you're fighting at, isn't it? Yeah.
So the pressure's off a little bit. So, but no, that fight's at 11.6. I expect to come under 11.6. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's not like I'm going to be in the sauna before they hit that scales 11.6. No chance. I mean, you know, I won't be having my full English, but no,
God, those were the days. The full English on the day of the fight.
I pretty much, I've not weighed for 6 days. I'll probably have a weigh this Saturday. I reckon this Saturday I'll be about 12. I'm only 6 or 7 pounds off with a month to go. When you think I've done 2 stone in 2 months, I've done it perfect again. I'm very proud of myself and proud to say I've worked very hard, kept my treats to a minimum, you know, a little fizzy drink here and there, and my cups of tea and coffee. I'm a right tea coffee belly. But I think that's what you've got to do, is sacrifice, and there's more sacrifice. You've got to sacrifice them little treats as you get a little bit older. But there's no point in looking that way if I can't knock the skin off a rice pudding. You know what I mean? Everything's got to be, because that's the thing with boxing. You have to lose your weight, but maintain your condition and strength and work rate and and stamina. You know what I mean? You know, anyone can make a certain weight, but going to do what I'm hoping to do 2nd of July, that's what boxing's the unique. Remaining to take the weight off, but keep that oomph, if you like.
So at 43, Ricky Hatton has finally found wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Found my brains. I don't know where they've been hiding for the last few years, but no, I don't regret anything that I did through my life, and I think it's why the bad times that happened through my life is why people see me now and see it more of a wow. You know, if I'd have always been like this, they'd say, look at him, he looks well at 43. But because I fell from grace, I had such bad times, I think I wouldn't change it because it's making more of an impact to people.
But there were some of those things, those jagged edges of you made you more interesting, weirdly, and you lived. That was the other thing about you, Ricky. You lived.
Well, it was nothing boring. I did everything 100%. If I went out, it was 100%. If I went drinking, it was 100%. If I went partying, it was 100%. I said, if I trained, it was 100%.
Yeah.
I played football, it was 100%. Now that 100%, if I go out, it's only a little. There's a little bit come off it because I'm 43. And your priorities change. There's nothing I love going for a pint with my mates. You know what I mean? Going for a nice meal, going for a few drinks, getting home at a decent hour, and not feeling like shit the next morning. It's nice, you know what I mean? And not feeling like shit the next morning, being able to go and pick your granddaughter up and pick your kids up and take them bowling or something like that. Where I'd normally be in bed till tea time. I'm not trying to turn around and say I'm at church 7 days a week, Sunday morning, and you know what I mean. I'm going to go to midnight mass every day. No, I mean, because that's me. I've always been me. I'm always a character, a lively sort. But life slows down, and it slowed down for Ricky, and it slowed down for the better.
What's the reaction been from Campbell, from Carol, from your dad?
Well, you think my family would be when I said I'm going to make a comeback in an exhibition fight. You'd think your loved ones would be the hardest ones to convince. And it's more the ones that are saying that you're not should be doing it, and no disrespect to the ones that will, when everyone's entitled to their opinion, they'll have a comment, what's he doing, is he coming back for money, what's he...
Possible out there has kind of changed a bit more, hasn't it?
I said after the Senchenko fight, my best days are behind me, and I still believe that, I still stand by that. But to do it where we're in a controlled environment, that's the worst thing. I mean, most of our heroes, would we say Muhammad Ali, and how heartbroken will we see Muhammad Ali to come back in his comeback fights, and and to get beaten the manner of his did. It was heartbreaking, and that's the thing that no one wants to see. Nobody wants to see fighters they've admired or the heroes, if you like, come back and getting battered. They don't.
I remember when he visited you here.
Yeah.
Remember years ago?
Yeah.
He came to the gym, didn't he?
He did, and but that's what we want to see. But when I saw, I think, the Roy Jones and the Mike Tyson event, where it was in a controlled environment, less rounds, shorter rounds, bigger gloves. Do you know what I mean? Where you can see your heroes showcase their skills one last time. In a nice. I mean, that was in lockdown. Obviously, that was behind closed doors. But I mean, the crowd there again, everyone singing the songs, the roar of the crowd. There's only one Ricky Hatton. Marco Antonio Barrera, what a legend. There's only one Ricky Hatton with big gloves on it, and seeing us showcase, I think, with no one getting hurt. I think I said back then when I was asked after the Roy Jones Tyson fight, if that comes, I'm all for it. I said my best days are gone, but I mean, so the right opponent in the right circumstances, right environment, and bearing in mind the awareness we're raising in what I've mentioned, I can't see a bad thing. People just say, "Oh, what are you doing again? What would you rather do? Would you rather see me sat here now, healthy, talking in the manner I am doing, living and loving life, nice and healthy, or would you rather me go back to, back to throwing beer down my necks, throwing drugs and massively overweight and drunk every night, depressed, wanting to kill myself? What Ricky Hatton would you sooner see?"
Well, we're not going to see Ricky Hatton again, no.
No. I don't think we are.
Is Ricky Hatton as funny as Ricky Fatton?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't quite say. I'd like to think so, but sometimes when I come round the corner, when I was like a beach way, I didn't even have to open my mouth and people would just laugh at me. But like now,
Used to hide behind skips, as you say.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to hide behind lampposts now. I used to hide behind skips, and now I can hide behind the lamppost now. But first time I see my dick in 10 years. I couldn't see my dick when I had a six-pack, me, actually, to be honest with you. But no, I just happy. I want to go out there and I want 2nd of July and put in a good performance, entertaining for the fans with my mate Marco, and I've no doubt it will, because I mean, they'll be ready. I'll be nervous as you can imagine, on the night. I'm wanting to put a show on and do myself justice, but do it in an environment where no cheap shots are taken with me mate Marco. I can't see how anyone is going to come back from July 2nd disappointed.
How can you two, though, both warriors of the ring, contain yourselves? What's it going to be? 3 minutes?
8-2s, yeah.
8-2s.
Yeah.
Oh, 2-minute rounds.
Yeah,
Oh. So how are you two, who've still got the warriors in you, going to be able to not actually...
I had faith in my professionalism.
Right.
I had faith in Marco's. I mean, and that's the best way I can describe it. None of us have got. We've got to know. It's got to be entertaining. We've got to make entertaining, and there's
not scored.
Me and Dan will, but there be no liberties taken and everything like that. But I mean, we're not going to want to. I think me and Marco are professional enough to know what's too much and what isn't enough. That's over the top. That's boring. There a little bit. I think that would be good enough.
There's 3 other names that. I mean, I'm just throwing this forward. No boxer ever looks beyond his opponent, and he's still an opponent, even though you're friends. And like you say, it's going to have to be a performance from both of you, and there will be nerves. Miguel Cotto, Juan Manuel Marquez, and Eric Morales. Could you potentially have one a year of these?
I'm not looked that far ahead, Gareth, to be honest with you. But I mean,
but is it something that could stimulate you year after year?
I think it probably could. But I mean, get this one out of the way. But I mean, this is the first one. And
can't look beyond him, can you?
No, can you? I mean, and just at the end of the day, from that first bell, we don't know what's going to happen. I've got a rough idea. You know what I mean? But no, and the fact that it's stuff that get me excited, and it's in a controlled environment, as we spoke about there. I mean, I never boxed Miguel. I never boxed Juan Manuel. I never boxed Eric. So, yeah, of course that get me juices flowing. But let's not get giddy and away with ourselves. Let's just do our best at making this the best night we can after lockdown for the fans.
Let me just go back into for a moment about the So this has all just naturally come off as you exercise.
Exercise, diet, knowing to eat the right things, when to eat the right things.
Not drinking.
No, not drinking. Knowing when to put. I've had a couple of glasses of wine over the last couple of weeks in the house and that, but.
But you stay off beer during it.
Yeah, and that's it. And and it's doesn't need me to tell you. I mean, to lose 2 stone in 7 weeks.
So what's your diet? What's your diet, mate? But breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Oh, breakfast. I have a little bit of porridge, and then I have me set meals, which I have. I'll have a little bit of a protein drink or a milkshake in between. A little bit of fruit just to take the hunger off here and there. And it's knowing when you need to put your foot down, because obviously we've got 8 rounds to do with Marco at pace. So it's knowing when to put your foot down. It's knowing when to put knowing when to put your ass up on the settee and have a rest. When you've had an hard workout and tomorrow just needs to get sweat on here now because you are 43 and it's about listening to your own body.
Saw you do strength and conditioning today, with the bands, with the weights. Then you go downstairs for a run. Is that 2 sessions a day, 5-6 days a week at the moment? Then
2 sessions a day, 7 days a week.
Oh, it's 7 days a week at the moment.
7 days a week, and then weekend comes. You know what I mean? I eat right, sensible again. But I do a couple of runs of a Saturday, a couple of runs of a Sunday, and then depending on how I feel, sometimes I might do 1 run a Saturday or 1 run on a Sunday. But if I do them runs, I mean, they're nothing more than a jog and a sweat on, just to maintain my weight. It makes me feel a little bit better, and just going out and getting a bit of fresh air. Going for a run on a Saturday, get a bit of fresh air, a bit of a stroll. I'll have a bit of a run, then have a bit of a walk, and then someone will be on. All right, Rick, you all right? And it's easy. I've got the balance finally at 43 of what's not just in my personal life, but in my training, of listening to my own body and working with an exceptional trainer in Blaine Eunice that knows from nutrition. I had the best in Kerry Kays and Blaine for a young coach, what he knows about boxing, game plan, nutrition, strength and everything. And it's just, the fact that we work together as coaches together with a team, me and Blaine obviously training our boxers. And for me and him to have the natters that we have, would it be about tactics or, this shoulder feels a bit tender today or, I felt a bit flat today, all right, go away, eat this, have a little bit of a stroll tonight, don't do your run, have a stroll, do that, you know what I mean? It's and it's working. I'm finding just the right balance, and I think everything I did from when I first started 7 weeks ago, I've done everything for the weight, the step up in training, or the step up in weights, or weight, or food intake, or it just seems to be. I don't know whether because I'm getting a little bit older and wiser, I just seem to be nailing it at the minute.
Have you got to have a plan for after the fight as well?
Not for the fight. I mean, we'll have.
Just for your own continuity, I mean.
My own continuity. I will be back in the gym on the Monday. No, tell a lie, the Tuesday. We're having a shit shirt day Sunday. Remember, we always used to have the shit shirt days, and when I was fighting, they're making a comeback as well. The shit shirt days, just for my family and my friends and that. But I will be in the gym Monday that week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't forget, my job may be finished July 2nd, but my job continues, trying to give these lads a train the best life they can have from boxing.
I'm just straying onto one other subject. Tyson Fury's retired. He has the same kind of mentality as you in a way. He's happy and healthy when he's in the gym and making sure he's training. Obviously, he's on a bit of a downtime in the south of France, has been with Paris.
He's running every day, he's ticking over and he's doing the right thing. And me and Tyson spoke to this.
Yeah.
When boxing, and I'm a trainer now, so when boxing finishes, you've got to fill your time. And these exhibitions aren't going to last forever, you know what I mean? There might be a few if we're lucky, but they're not going to last for forever. But it's when, I've got the family, I've got the kids now, which is what he's got as well. But boxing is like, there's my job now, my hobby, banging the drum for mental health, training me boxers. And I think Tyson might need to, train every day, but then find that little job for him, whether it be, might not be a trainer, but it might be, I think, I'm a firm believer it's something that's got to fill your minutes of your day up to keep your mind going. And
do you think he'll come back though to fight for the undisputed? Is your gut instinct?
He might do, knowing Tyson. I think the fact that well, he said that he was going to train anyway when he retired and keep on top of things, which is nice to see that he's doing. Or he might be, because because of the politics and the rematch clauses, and he's had to fight him, he has to fight him, and he has to fight him, and lockdown and that. We didn't get AJ to Tyson, did we? We didn't get Tyson, Usyk. But I think Tyson, if he's honest to himself, stand the settee, I think he'll still want them. I think he'll still want them fights, and I think might be a good move putting his ass on the settee. Maybe the people at B, whether it be TV promoters, might think, well, we've lost this, and if they think they've lost it, they might try a bit harder to get its hat nailed on. But I just know Tyson is a champion from start to finish, isn't he? He wants to be his best, and there's nothing more Tyson can prove with his fights with Wilder and everything he's done. He's the lineal heavyweight champion, and I'm so proud of him. What he's done. There's nothing more. He retires now. He's done everything and more what to be expected. But I think he's got them two itches on his arse, and he one's Cody Usyk and one's Joshua. And I don't think he'll want to retire
without fighting one of them.
Without. I just don't think he will.
What do you think about Joshua announcing that he's going to use Robert Garcia for this camp? Do you think that's good?
A new trainer, it brings a different energy, doesn't it? A different, an extra spring into a fight, a step, new things. It worked for me. When I went with Floyd Mayweather Senior, if I could have stayed with Billy, I don't think Floyd would have got the job, to be honest with you. I'd have stayed with Billy till the day I die, but Billy was picking up injuries and stuff like that. But the fact that Floyd come in, it gives you a little spring in my step, and that, and I think that will do the same with AJ. What he can, I think the tactics are very obvious for AJ's against Usyk, and I think if you went to 90% of top trainers or even any trainer, they would say they would give him the same tactics, which is you've got the height, you've got the reach, you've got the weight advantage, you've got the strength advantage. Let's not try and not knock his bum fluff off here, and try and outbox him. Let's use them advantages you've got, and in the last fight he didn't.
There were a couple of rounds where he did.
Yeah.
Fifth round, sixth round, he started to put pressure on him.
The only way Usyk was going to use that is if AJ didn't use his height, didn't use his strength, didn't use his size, didn't use his weight, and that's what happened. So I think he doesn't need the new trainer to tell him that. I think but he will come with new game plan, a new idea, new training methods, new this that will give AJ a right spring in his step, which can't be a bad thing. But I think it speaks for most people. I think it's clear what they you've got to use his attributes and grab it by the bollocks. This one.
Well, on on that happy note,
bollocks again.
Manchester Arena, July the 2nd. Ricky Hatton versus Marco Antonio Barrera headline. I thought I'd never say it. 2022.
Yes. Can't wait, Gareth. Can't wait. Look forward to seeing everyone.